Hi everyone, this is Brian from Street Snappers and welcome to my latest critique video, which this month is all about the concept of repetition. Now for those of you who are new to the channel, you'll find that I do a regular monthly critique video for students who have been on my workshops. If you're interested in joining them and coming on one of these street photography workshops, there's a link below. Just click on the website and have a look. So the concept of repetition is one of those useful devices we can use as street photographers. And what we're essentially looking for are repeating shapes, patterns, colours, objects, things, people that just give a bit of intrigue and engage the viewer for longer. Sometimes they make us think twice, they make us really examine and explore the image. And that's what we want to do as photographers. We want the viewer to linger on the image for longer. So let's dive straight in and see what we've got to look at this month. Let's start with this image by Richard Keeling. My first reaction is really one of incomprehension, and I don't immediately compute what's going on here. But when I look more closely, you see these three women wearing identical coats. Initially I thought it was several reflections of the same person, but it's three different women. And it's quite strange that they're wearing identical coats. And it's this sense of the unusual in the usual that attracts me to this picture. And I like images that play some kind of tricks with your mind, that just make you work that little bit harder to discover what's going on. The fact that the three coats have quite a striking pattern helps the image, I think. And I do like that lovely soft lighting on the woman's face. Looking at the downsides, I think the image is a little soft, and I think Richard might have missed the perfect point of focus here, maybe in a rush to get the shot, who knows. But you maybe know my view on street photography, that it's not about perfection, and I don't think this in itself kills the image. It also feels a little cramped to me. And I think had Richard taken a few steps back, we might have seen some more context, which might have helped the image, but maybe not. I guess only Richard will know, and we don't know the full extent of the scene. Whilst I wasn't there at the time, I think that had I been in Richard's shoes, I'd have stalked these three, as I think there could have been some good opportunities for a wider variation of shots. And by stalking, obviously, I don't mean doing that in any creepy way, but a good street photographer will always stalk his prey, watching from a distance until the frame really works. So I think it's I think it's a good image, Richard, and I think you maybe could have done more with it just by taking a little bit longer if you had the time and just exploiting the situation a bit more. So let's have a look at the next shot, which is something completely different from Alfie Catter. And this is a much more abstract interpretation of the brief, and I really like it. But I should say straight off that abstractions are much more difficult to critique because beauty is in the eye of the beholder. One man's meat is another man's poison and all that. So what I'm saying is it's a very personal thing when it comes to abstracts. But back to this image. This one's all about repeating shapes, as in the shapes of the faces, and I think it works really well in monochrome. The contrast is good with deep inky blacks, which I do like, and flashes of white and paler tones. Those two white blobs, you could argue that they are a bit of a distraction, but it's no big deal for me. So the element of repetition in this one is all about the repeating shadows and shapes of the heads. So I do feel that it adequately fulfills the brief. Maybe I'd have composed a little bit more to the right to get more of that head on the right hand side of the frame in shot. Other than that, there's really not much to criticise. I guess this is an image that could work very nicely as a small set of similar abstracts. I think as a standalone image, this kind of shot
it has to work a bit harder. Maybe it's not quite there in that sense, but as part of a set of maybe 4 or 6 shots shot in a very similar way, I think it would have greater currency. But well done, Alfie. Next on to this shot by Wendy Davies. So here we've got repeating actions with 2 people taking pictures with their phones of what I assume are the Chinese New Year celebrations in Chinatown. There's also sense of the here and now, the moment here, with the guy in the centre of the frame wearing a face mask. And I think one of the stories about Chinese New Year this year was all about how the coronavirus crisis muted some of the celebrations. So, maybe there's a little documentary aspect to this going on. What did strike me about this one is that Wendy has used layers effectively here, with the mobile phones providing the essential foreground layer. The 2 central figures give you the middle ground layer, and the people and the shop behind them in the background give us the background layer. So you've got 3 layers here going on. And I find that using layers in this way in street photography, or any photography for that matter, give you volume and depth, and give you a multi-dimensional image rather than a flat image. And when you do use layers, it's probably worth remembering that all the layers don't necessarily need to be in focus. And in fact, in this case, the mobile phones are soft and out of focus, but it doesn't detract from the overall image. It still just gives you that depth going in from front to back. An alternative way of doing this may be a better way. This is arguable, but an alternative approach would have been to focus on the phones and let everything else go soft. But who knows? What would you have done? Put some comments below. So back to the concept of repetition here. Wendy's got 2 different repetitive elements going on. She's got the phones themselves with the images on them, and also the act of using them as cameras, but also the repeating pictures on the phones and the central figures. Maybe the composition could have been a bit cleaner, but Wendy was clearly in the moment with this, and I suspect she didn't have much time to think about it. She had to react quickly to a reasonably fast-moving situation. So again, it's a nice interpretation of the brief, Wendy, so well done. Here we have another monochrome image, this one from Carnigan, which shows repeating gestures. And I really like those gestures. What are these guys thinking here? What's happening? What's the story? Sometimes an image asks the viewer questions rather than giving them the answer straight away. And we're invited to make up our own story or explanation of the scene. And I think this is what's going on here. Probably not a very strong story, to be honest, but it does make you wonder. And we've got the sign there on the right that says toilets. I'm not quite sure what to make of that, though. On balance, I think it definitely adds something. Maybe a touch of irony, perhaps. Are their gestures somehow something toilet related? Who knows? And looking at this, it's making me think about the whole colour versus black and white debate. And that'll be a topic I'll cover extensively in a future video, by the way. But I wonder why Chris chose to make this monochrome. I'm assuming it was shotted digitally, so it was either raw or probably maybe colour to start with, and he converted it to monochrome. So if you're watching, Chris, why not pop a comment below and let us know your thinking here. So technically there's not much to criticise here. It's sharp, it's crisply composed, and there's a nice range of tones. So it's another very respectable image, certainly a keeper. It meets the brief, so thank you, Chris, well done. Next up is this shot from Paul Smith. In a similar vein, I guess, to the previous image from Chris, with repeating gestures. So my first reaction to this is that it looks quite washed out and overexposed. Now I know that Paul uses film a lot, so I suspect this may have been a film image and it's been posted here straight out of the camera. If that's the case, it probably needs scanning and a little bit of exposure correction doing in post-production. Again, Paul, if you're watching this, please pop a few words below about how you feel about this image and how you arrived at it and your thinking behind it. It would be good to just see it in a little more context, I think. So when the sun is behind you like this, it's a good opportunity to really nail the exposure. It's as good as it gets, potentially. And I'd probably use a little bit of deliberate underexposure to saturate those colours and keep the highlights in check. Looking at the composition, I would have probably included more of the women and less of the sky. I know you've got to think quickly. They were moving, you're in the moment. It's difficult, but certainly more of the women. And the guy on the right is a bit of a distraction. He might have been less so had he been separated from the women, but he's joined onto the woman on the right. It's just a little bit distracting. But the repeating gestures are nice. The content is actually fine. The idea is good. The concept. I like the women, the way the women are walking in the same direction, but looking in different ways. So overall, I think the subject matter's good, but the image is let down slightly by the exposure. So it's got potential, but I don't think that potential's really been reached here. So the final image today is from this very striking image from Jonathan Gliksten, who's based in Australia. Again, Jonathan, the repetition theme I think works really well here with the repeating pink vests and also the striking graphical element of the oars, which I really like. It's a great image and I'd say it's almost there. There are a couple of compositional tweaks that could have improved this for me significantly. One is a very slight one, and it's a pity you've lost some of the guy's feet, and that could have been easily corrected with a couple of steps back. And also the horizon's wonky. It's only about 2 degrees, 2.2 degrees, but it does make a difference and it's quite noticeable. And once you've seen it, it's there and it kind of gets in the way. And if you've got time, either in camera ideally or maybe in post-production, just always think about your horizon, unless it's deliberately wonky, which often is fine. In this case, I'm assuming it wasn't. So if it's a lot out and it's deliberate, that's okay. But just a little bit out, just niggles a bit. So that's something that's worth thinking about and getting it right. Another slight niggle is the background clutter. And I don't know how quickly this scene was evolving and whether those guys were about to move off, but maybe Jonathan could have repositioned himself to get a cleaner composition. Again, if you're watching, Jonathan, do feel free to say a few words about your image in the comments section below. We'd love to hear the thinking behind it. But I do like the overall look of this, which I think it has a touch of the Martin Parr about it, perhaps. And again, those oars provide a really striking graphical element. So it's a keeper for me. So that just about wraps up this month's images. As they say on the BBC, it's back to Brian in the studio.
Well, I hope you found that useful. I think critique is really important for us as photographers, and it's how we develop and grow. And I know it's quite difficult as street photographers to get critique that is frank and honest and helpful and useful. And I think social media is partly to blame for that, because we all know that if we put something on social media, everybody says it's fantastic and tells you how good it is. All your friends will praise it to the hills, but that's not really helpful. So just bear in mind when you're looking at other people's work and you are giving critique, just give critique that is going to help them and think about how you can help them improve. So there we have it, the concept of repetition. And if you're interested in looking at little assignments on subjects like repetition, have a look at my book, 52 Street Photography Assignments, which it'll give you 52 interesting and engaging projects to work on. So if you like the video, please click like. Every like helps, or dislike if you didn't like it, and it would be great if you subscribe, because there will be lots more to come. If you fancy doing a street photography workshop, links to my website are below, and if you'd like to see what I do on Instagram, it's @StreetSnappers. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.